This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. Well, the video Fast Break Podcast, huh, Ricky?
The special bonus video.
Special bonus video. I'm Sean Anderson, alongside me is Ricky Widmer.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And Dave's sleeping. So
yeah. Dave wanted to take a nappy poo.
Dave's taking a siesta, but it's more turned into he's going to sleep because he said he's going to bed at 4 and it's now 8 o'clock. So Dave's out cold.
Yeah.
But we're going to jump in. We already did our playoff preview videos. If you want to do that, we previewed the first round. I took the Eastern Conference. Ricky took the Western Conference. But now we're going to go in depth, start of the playoffs all the way to the end, what matchups we like, what teams we like, and we're going to give you your full predictions, full video right here on the YouTubes, and you're also going to be listening on SoundCloud. So, check them both out. You get to see our lovely faces on YouTube, but also SoundCloud works just as well. But anyways, we're going to jump right in. Ricky, your favorite team, who are the top 3 teams in the NBA playoffs that you think can make a run?
The top 3 that will make a run to the finals, is that what you mean? The Warriors, the Spurs, the Cavs.
Okay, but
it's that easy because, the thing from the top is those are the best 3 teams. I feel like with the Cavaliers, it's not going to be a cakewalk for the Cavs by any means. It's going to be a cakewalk for the Warriors until they get to the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. But the thing with the Cavaliers is, what are we going to see with them? Because we've seen good and we've seen bad. And I know that they've kind of taken the Popovich kind of way and say, you know what, we're going to rest some guys, lose some games, not go for 73, and hope that pans out and gets us a trophy. However, I'm looking at this first matchup against the Pistons and reading some of the YouTube comments. I kind of agree. This series could go. This has the potential to be the exact same kind of 1-8 series that we saw when the Bulls lost to the Sixers.
Yeah, but D Rose is out for that one.
Yeah,
so
maybe
more Warriors Mavericks in 08, 07.
Yeah,
I think it was 07 because I think it was the year after the Mavs lost in the finals. I agree that the Pistons are dangerous mostly because who's going to stop Andre Drummond? And I didn't mean to harp on Tobias Harris when I said in the preview
but LeBron's hard. He's hard to guard unless you bear hug him like Captain Kirk.
But it's also LeBron James. This guy comes to the playoffs. He's been to 5 straight finals. It's hard to beat 5 straight finals. He's going for 6 straight finals. It's ridiculous. This is LeBron James we're talking about. I still think that I still think the Pistons can make a run, or the Pistons cannot make a run, but I think they can give them hell. But I think it's going to be LeBron stepping over. I think maybe 6 games at the most. Cavs winning it. It's just hard to say no to one of the best players in the NBA. He's been the best player since 2004-ish, and now Steph Curry's kind of taken that torch. But
I think Steph maybe they're different players,
obviously. But if I'm saying who am I going to start a franchise with, I'm taking Steph.
Yeah,
I'm taking Steph,
no doubt.
But I look at the Pistons. I think they can make a run, or give them hell more of not make a run. But looking at the Warriors, I agree with you. It's an easy first round matchup. I think the Rockets have pieces there. If Dwight Howard comes in and plays like he did in 2009, then yeah, maybe the Rockets have a shot. But I don't think that's long away. That's 6 years ago. I don't think it's going to be happening. But the one team that I do like, I like the Warriors. I like the Spurs. I don't like the Cavs that much, mainly for the reasons you said. I don't think they can play as a team. I don't think they can play as a unit.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who they get, because the way this could play out is they get the Pistons right away, but then they get the winner of Boston, Atlanta. And to me, if I'm a Cavs fan, I'm rooting for Atlanta in that series. I would be a little bit... I'd be afraid of Boston just because of we've seen what Boston could be like, especially when they played the Warriors and beat them in the Oracle. That's not an easy thing to do, especially with how good the Warriors have been this year. So that's the main reason why I'm saying you're rooting for Atlanta in that series. And then when you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah, it's kind of more of a crapshoot of teams, but the 2 teams I don't want to see, which they probably will see, is either Miami or Toronto. Toronto's going to try to make a push because they're trying to keep their key free agents. DeRozan and Lowry. One this year, one next year,
Yeah.
because they're going to deny their player options to get more money. And then if they play Miami, just the fact that Miami fans and D Wade, a little, even though they're friends, kind of want that, more so for the fans, we want to beat you because you left us.
But also, I mean, you look at the Heat, they're still built for the playoffs. I mean, the one guy I forgot to mention in our playoff preview, Joe Johnson, he's been fantastic since he's came over, and now Whiteside's going to be in the starting lineup. You don't really have a player to guard Whiteside if you're the Cavs. But again, looking at that second round matchup, I don't know if you necessarily root for Atlanta because Atlanta's got Millsap and they got Horford. If they could turn it on, Mozgov and Thompson can't defend them, and Channing Frye can't defend anyone. I mean, he's great offensively, but he can't defend anyone. So I mean, the Cavs make me nervous. That's why I think my three favorite teams here are all from the Western Conference. You have the Warriors, you have the Spurs, and the Clippers. Because I mean, if the Clippers, go into that second round matchup, have to take on the Warriors. I think the Clippers upset them. I mean, that's big right there. I think the Clippers, once they get over Portland, that's going to give them a confidence boost, and especially if Blake comes in and plays like Blake Griffin can, I think that gives them a confidence boost. And you have Chris Paul who can guard Steph Curry. I mean, probably the only person that one of the few that can actually match up with Steph pretty decently. Clay can go off against JJ because JJ can't play defense, but JJ can match him three-point shooting wise. I think that the real key there is how is Jeff Green going to play? How is Paul Pierce going to play? And if those guys can match Harrison Barnes or play slightly less, because DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin are going to win that battle down low. I don't care. I mean, well, maybe not against Draymond, but I mean whoever's going up against Bogut, they're going to win that matchup. I think that the Clippers match up nicely. I don't know if they have enough, but I mean Jamal Crawford coming off the bench is a nice thing to wish for. So I think the Clippers, if they got that confidence of beating the Trailblazers and then beating the Warriors,
they got to get through them though first.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. The thing I got a little roasted a little bit in my video
often,
for the first round was with the Clippers and Blazers is, yes, the Blazers front court is not experienced, and it took a huge hit because they don't have LaMarcus Aldridge anymore. However, I think something's going to click, and CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard are going to come out and just play their minds out, make it a competitive series. Yes, I picked the Trailblazers in 7, but I just think this series between the Clippers and the Blazers, it's going to be the best matchup, especially for the Western Conference.
See, I agree that backcourt beats the Clippers backcourt, and obviously the Warriors backcourt beats the Clippers backcourt.
It's going to be which one helps them more.
But it's also the front court. You got to look at that. Who's going to stop the
Lob City?
Yeah, who's going to stop Lob City? Who's going to stop?
It's Lob
DeAndre,
City versus Rip City.
Yeah, who's going to stop DeAndre? Who's going to stop Blake? And I think if they get that confidence, and maybe if they end that series early, that's going to give them a ton of confidence. That's going to push them on, and that's a veteran team there. Doc's been in the finals before. I think I really like the Clippers. I think that if anyone's going to beat the Warriors, I think it's the Clippers or the Spurs, and I think if you can beat the Warriors, you can win the championship.
Here's what I think is going to happen, and I'm only saying this because you finally brought it up, was what's going to happen with the Warriors over the whole kind of thing. They're my team to win. Duh. They're going to win it all. I feel like they are going to go back-to-back, and next year we're not just talking about them, oh yeah, they beat the Bulls record of 73 wins. Well, 72, now it's 73. But next year we're going to be talking about them tying Jordan and the Bulls three-peat. We're going to be comparing this team even more to Chicago from the 90s because they're going to be going for a three-peat. And I got the bracket from 96, the year that the Bulls did win 72 games. The way I see it, this Warriors team is going to have the same path to the finals as the number 1 seeded Seattle Supersonics, George Karl's Seattle Supersonics, who lost to the Bulls. And the reason I say that is round 1, round 2, I know round 1 back then was only a best of 5, but it's going to be the same thing. I feel like they may lose one game. Maybe the Rockets take one, or if they play the Clippers in round 2, the Clippers snag one away from the Warriors. But they're only going to lose one game in their first 2 series. Then they're going to hit this spur train in the Western Conference Finals, and it's going to go to 7, just like it did in 96 when Seattle and Utah went, And we had a possibility in that 96-98 of seeing Chicago, Utah for 3 straight years.
Yeah.
That 96 was the only year. But I feel like Warriors will then win in 7 and then go on and do what the Supersonics couldn't, and that's beat the Eastern Conference team in the finals.
One of the earliest fast breaks we did, it was who's the favorite for the NBA Finals, and I picked the Spurs. That was even when I think the Warriors just came off their 24-game win streak, and I took the Spurs, and I still believe that the Spurs have enough here. I still think the inside game of Tim Duncan, if he's going to play all 7 games. And LaMarcus Aldridge can beat up that team because Draymond's a fantastic player. Draymond is definitely going to be him and Kawhi there for Defensive Player of the Year. But
if Dave was here, he'd be saying the dirtiest player in the NBA.
He can't body up LaMarcus Aldridge.
No.
I don't care. I don't care how great he is. He can't body up LaMarcus Aldridge because the guys that Draymond's usually going up against. These guys. It's not the same player as LaMarcus. It's not the same beast of LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, the way I look at that game at San Antonio, the first time, not the one that they just lost, but the game they won, if they can reciprocate that for 4 straight games or 4 games, I think the Spurs are going to take it because, they looked like they knew how to beat the Spurs or beat the Warriors. They had the equation, they had the math, and I feel like they can be that team that beats the Warriors. I like the Clippers just because you have Chris Paul, and you have Blake and DeAndre, but I think that the Warriors can easily get past that. But obviously, if the Clippers jump that, then Clippers are going to have all the confidence in the world here. But I think the Spurs have the confidence. They have the veteran leadership. They have Greg Popovich. I think that's just going to be the key for them there. And I think the Spurs are going to jump over that, and I think they're going to destroy anyone from the East. I don't even know if it's going to be Cleveland because I really like Toronto. So I think the Spurs can really take this away from the Warriors.
The way I see it is that Western Conference Finals is no matter who we get. Spurs Cleveland, Spurs Toronto, Warriors Cleveland, Warriors Toronto, Warriors Boston, whatever we get. The best series, when we're talking about the playoffs after they're all said and done, the best series will be if the Warriors, and this is an if because it's not a given, if the Spurs and the Warriors go to the Western Conference Finals, that's the series we're going to be saying, wow, that was better than the actual finals. That series went to 7. It was a hard-fought series. The Warriors, this team that won 73 games, had to go through adversity because the way I see it, and this is the only reason I'm making these comparisons, is the 73 wins. But when you look back to that Bulls team that did the same thing that the Warriors had done and win 72-73, well, the Warriors won the 73rd. But when the Bulls did it, they went to the playoffs and just fucking dominated the East. The only one that got a win over them was Patrick Ewing. They swept Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, in the Heat. Then they beat Ewing's Knicks in 5. It was, I believe, Shaq and Penny was on that Orlando team. Fucking smoked them, swept them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think that was the year after they went to the finals, right? Yeah,
and
played up against Houston.
And then went to win the finals on Father's Day, the just historic Father's Day championship for Michael Jordan after his dad passed away. No team in the playoffs, Spurs, Warriors, Cavs this year, is going to have that kind of success in the playoffs. That's why I'm saying the Warriors are more going to fit that Seattle Supersonic side of, the first and second round, they might get past, maybe lose 1 game, but then they're going to hit that kind of wall that they have to break through in the conference finals.
Yeah, and the one thing that's different is you're not going to go up against the beast that was the 95-96 Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that's going to change there. Is there a team that's 5 and lower? Is there a lower seeded team that you really think can make a run to the finals and even win it?
The Celtics. Well, can make a run to the finals.
Make a run to the finals.
I would love to I would love to see a Celtics Warriors finals because I know, and that's the thing that's different about the NBA playoffs compared to the season. We talk about a season and it's like when the Warriors lost to this team. Well, then try to beat them in a best-of-7 series and you can't hang with them. Yeah, I saw that Celtics team play. They played them hard. The last 2 games they played. They should have beat them in Boston the last time they played. In Beantown, that would be a great series. That's kind of the underdog series. I'm hoping for, because to me the Celtics are kind of, and the whole East, they're separated by like a game, not even. Half of them are tied.
Yeah, 3 through 6 are all tied at 9 games back.
So really, Boston could be technically a 3 seed, but based on tiebreakers, they're the 5. They're the team that's 5 and below that I think can make a run.
I think it's actually the Rockets, just because you have
I don't like them. I don't like them.
All right, well, obviously, they're going up against the fucking Warriors. If you're going, that's going to be your hardest test. If you beat the Warriors, then I mean that's going to give you confidence in the world. And you look at what would it take to beat the Warriors? You would need Dwight Howard to play like 2009. You would need James Harden to play like it was last year. And Michael Beasley, you need him to play like he's playing right now, because Michael Beasley's playing out of his mind. I think that you have Trevor Ariza, who can be a fantastic player, 3-and-D guy right there.
Ariza has to play like he did when he was backing up Kobe and playing with Kobe when he won some rings.
You got Patrick Beverley, you got veteran leadership in Jason Terry. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying if there's a team I'm looking at, and I'm saying if you get over that one hump, then you might be able to go. I mean, I look at the West. Portland has the chance to beat the Clippers, but I don't think they get past San Antonio just because of that that front court there. I look at the Mavericks.
I like the Mavericks.
They have Dirk, but Parsons is out. West hasn't been the same player since Portland. They have JJ Barea, who's been decent. Darren Williams has been decent, but you don't have a guy, behind Dirk. If Dirk falls down, that really can be the go-to guy there. I look at, Memphis is going to get fucking destroyed. I don't care. I don't care what you say. Memphis is going to get fucking obliterated.
Here's the thing, though, and I do like Dallas too, and the main reason I like Dallas is Dirk can play out of his mind. And to me, I don't know.
38 though.
I don't know what we can expect from this Thunder team in the playoffs, because this is another interesting thing, and I was actually keeping this in my mind to bring up during this podcast, whether it was just a straight playoff podcast or we ended up splitting it up like a normal podcast. But does this playoffs matter to Durant in the fact that if they don't make it to the finals or they don't make it to this far, that he's gone and he leaves?
No, I think Durant probably. If Durant was going anywhere, I think he would have his mind made up. I don't think he's just going to be like this guy, like, oh, we didn't make the playoffs. This isn't going to be the place for me.
Does it matter how far they go in the playoffs if they're going to keep him? Or
no.
Not them keep him, but him saying, you know what, I'll stay and still leave.
I think he has his mind made up if he's going to stay or if he's going to go. The thing I look at the Thunder, I see Serge Ibaka, who's great defensively. You have Cantor who can light it up.
His role has been diminished in this Billy Donovan system.
I'm just saying he's still great at defense. You can take away his role, he's still going to be able to play defense.
He's got somebody other than Westbrook and Durant have to step up.
Well, Cantor's been great off the bench. I mean, I look at this team, and I don't see them being upset by the Mavericks, so that takes out the Mavericks there. Memphis is going to get destroyed.
38-year-old Dirk plays like Dirty Dirk.
Yeah, unless he goes into 2011 mode. But I look at them, and I don't see them jumping over it. I agree with you with Boston, but I had to bring someone else to the table.
You know who I also like? I know you were going to bring up the Hornets, and I'll let you talk. I just want to say this really quick. I like the Blazers. And I know, they're playing the Clippers. The only bad thing about the Mavericks and the Blazers is if they get through their first game, they're most likely going to meet the Spurs and the Warriors, respectively.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing with the Hornets I was going to bring up is, you have Nicholas Batum, who when healthy is fantastic. I mean, another guy who left Portland, who's just a great player. You have Al Jefferson, who's great down low. You have Tyler Zeller and Frank Kaminsky coming off the bench. You have Marvin Williams, who's really stepped up this year. You have Hansbrough, who I know definitely lower there, but you have guys, big men down there who can play up to speed and up to course. But you look at Kemba Walker. And I'm going to bring up college because, I'm a closet UConn fan. I'm a closet Washington Huskies fan. You could obviously who I'm wearing on my shirt here. But Kemba Walker played out of his mind in that national championship run. And, if Kemba could turn on playoff Kemba, this might be a different story. This might be monster we can't.
Big East tournament Kemba.
Yeah, playoff Kemba. Yeah. That's still playoffs. Right?
Okay,
come on.
Okay.
But anyways, I think if he turns on playoff Kemba, this is going to be possibly an unstoppable monster. I think that the Hornets have the ability, but obviously I think they don't have the veteran leadership there that the Heat have. So I don't think they can get by it. But if they do get by it, then the East is very open, and the East can run to the finals there. Fair.
I'm gonna say two things about the East.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm making a bold prediction. You guys know me. I love my bold predictions. The Cavs aren't gonna make the finals.
That's not that
Cavs
bold.
are not going to make the finals this year. And my second thing that's just kind of a little snippet about this, the best series, and this is an if we get to see it kind of series that we'll be talking about from the East at the end, is if Toronto meets Miami. If those two teams meet, we're talking about that's the best series at the end. It goes 7. The winner went on to beat the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals, just took the momentum. So basically the two best series I think that's going to be at the end. Second round matchup between the Raptors and Heat, and then the Western Conference Finals.
I say that what I'm trying to say here is I think the Heat Cavs matchup is probably the best matchup you can hope for in the East, but I think the Raptors are going to get there. I think the Raptors are going to be the team from the East that get there. But I'm just saying, if they stumble at all, Paul George is your star. You need a star in the NBA playoffs. Paul George is your star to take you. I think that it's a possible upset there in Toronto, but I don't think it's going to happen. But again, going back to the Rockets, they have the star power in James Harden. They'll have the star power if Dwight Howard shows up, and they have a great player there in Michael Beasley. You talk about redeeming your career. Talk about coming onto the scene. They played fantastic to end the season. James Harden, I think, averaged over 33 points in April. If James Harden can take control, if James Harden can get help from Howard, Capella, Beasley, this might be a team that we're really sleeping on, and the Warriors might take a break. I'm not saying that the Warriors are going to lose. I'm not saying that, but it is possible if they come to play the Rockets because, the Warriors, fantastic, record-setting. But could you imagine if the Rockets do that? That's the biggest upset of all time, probably.
And I know that I said I think that the Warriors are going to sweep the Rockets, but based on who I have winning my first series, the way and going on what I said, how the Warriors will probably lose one game in the first two rounds combined. If Portland goes on, and I'm right with that, the Rockets will probably be the team to steal one from the Warriors. Even though Portland had played the Warriors tough as well.
A lot of teams played them well. They just couldn't finish.
The thing, though, is with the Trailblazers is, are they going to be able to win a game against the Warriors after a 7-game grind? Because it's going 7. I'm sorry, LA fans. You can believe you're going to win all you want, and you may. However, I'm saying it's going to 7.
Well, we obviously differ
there. And I'm
there.
picking the Trailblazers. That's going to be a hell of a series. And the thing that we may be talking about is, wow, that Warriors-Spurs first-round series, those were like stinkers. Because both of them are, I feel the Spurs and the Warriors just going to walk onto the second round. Just show up to the court, and you're going to go on. The Eastern Conference, to me, though, is the toughest because the Pistons at 8, they have a chance to really challenge the Pistons. I feel like the Pistons could win. Will they? Probably not.
Yep.
The Hornets could possibly beat the Heat. Will they? Probably not. The Pacers, I don't think I don't even think they have a chance. And then that 4-5 is probably the best of the first round for the East.
There's just a lot of what ifs in this playoffs. We've been saying what if the Rockets do this? What if the Rockets do that? What if the Pacers do this? What if the Pistons do that? I think that it's pretty clear that the Warriors are going to advance. As much as I said a lower seeded team, I just want to throw the Rockets in there for discussion.
I got Warriors in my finals.
I got the Warriors in 4. I got the Warriors beating I think the Clippers then.
But then you got
6.
them losing to the Spurs.
I got them losing to the Spurs in 7 just because of that matchup against LaMarcus Aldridge and Tim Duncan.
So based on what we've said, and this is kind of what we're getting to.
And you're taking my job.
You said Spurs and Raptors. That's your NBA Finals?
That's my NBA Finals. I'm going to take Spurs Raptors. I think that Cleveland will not play as a put together team.
And you have Cleveland losing to Toronto in the Eastern Conference.
I got
Finals.
1-2 in both sides.
Okay.
So 1-2 on both sides. I think 7 for the Western side. I think Spurs is going to take the Warriors to 7, and I think that the Cavs Raptors will go to 6. I think that I don't think Kevin Love will be able to step up. I think Kyrie will probably take away from LeBron's ability to be a playmaker. And I think LeBron will do his damn best, but it's not going to be enough. I think you can't do your damn best and have your 2 other best players falter and slip when you have Toronto, who is a team that's deadly. We saw that in that in that game where Kyle Lowry hit that hit that.
You
game
almost called
winner.
him Kyrie again.
I did. I kept doing that for my playoff previews for Toronto, because I did the Cleveland one and then I did the Toronto one.
You kept wanting to call Kyle. You kept wanting to say Kyrie Lowry instead of just Kyle Lowry.
Anyways, I think that this Raptor team, you can't sleep on. You can't take a break, because then they will be that guy that just snaps you and just jumps on you quickly.
My hardest thing for a finals prediction is I've got the Warriors, and we've got the same. Warriors, just like your Spurs, walking over to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference Finals. Warriors win in 7, much like you had the Spurs winning in 7. But the Eastern Conference is where it gets mucky, because I think the Cavs are going to lose in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I don't know if it's going to be Heat. Like, do I want to pick the Heat or do I want to pick the Raptors? Because in my head, I'm like, I'm going to go with the Heat. And then I went, Heat Warriors Finals? I'd rather see a Raptors Warrior. Like, I'm not convinced in my head who I want to pick for that Eastern spot to beat the Cavs, the Heat or the Raptors.
Yeah, it's tough, because really 1 through 8 can go. I mean, 1 through 8 can go. I think
the East is tough.
The one team that I'm hesitant to pick is the Pacers, just because, outside of Paul George, Monta Ellis was great. Monta Ellis was fantastic last year in the playoffs, but I don't know if he can reciprocate that. I don't know if George Hill can be
George Hill and his blonde hair.
Yeah,
his
I don't
weird
know
blonde hair now.
I don't know if he can step
that's
up.
not George Hill.
I don't know if he can step up. Jordan Hill down low. I don't. I just
the Pacers
it's hard
may
to put
be
trust in them.
and I'm sorry, Indiana fans, and it hurts you because you
got some ties.
You got some ties to the Pacers, but they may be the weakest team. Them and the the Hornets they've got that more of a sleeper potential for the Hornets than the Pacers.
But they're a deep team.
Yeah.
The Hornets. I think the Hornets.
Their only bad draw is they got to go up against the Heat, which okay, I mean you can say the Pacers have to go up against the Raptors.
If that 3 through 6 was shuffled up a bit, and the Heat were playing the Celtics and the Hornets were playing the Hawks, I have the Hornets advancing easily. The Hawks and the Pacers are the toughest team for me to be like, yeah, you guys go in the finals, because I look at the Hawks and it's like, all right, who's going to play point guard? Is it going to be Jeff Teague? Is it going to be Dennis Schroeder? I mean, I look at Millsap and Horford, who look to be a great duo, but they didn't really impress that much. I think they both had one of their worst seasons, or one of the close to the worst seasons. Kyle Korver's a shell of the shooter he was last season. It's just hard to be like, yeah, these guys are going. And then with the Pacers, it's like you guys have players who can take over games, but who's going to take over? And really, I mean, how are they going to work together? It's hard to see those teams meshing together. So, but I look at the West, and it's really hard to say like. I don't really trust Portland because of their size down low. I don't really trust the Rockets because they're going up against the Warriors. I don't trust the Grizzlies because I think their best player is Matt Barnes right now. So there's 3 teams there, but I think other than that, there's all spoiler potential. But I think it's pretty clear that the Spurs and Warriors are the best teams in those conferences, and I think it's a big gap there. It's more of, we've been talking about the Spurs Warrior. Let's throw in discussion, because you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs.
I'm going to lean towards finals prediction, my final one. I'm going to go Heat Warriors, with the Warriors winning in 5.
I'm going to go Spurs Raptors, Spurs winning in 6. Tell us your final predictions down below. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, thank you so much for listening. Hit that little red button down there and repost us to all your friends. If you're watching us on YouTube, hi. How you doing? Like this video down below. Subscribe to our channel. Tell us what you think about the video comments, our video podcast, and tell us what you think about the series and the whole playoffs in general. Tell us
the second one we've done this week.
This is back to back. Check out the Rams and Rams Titans trade, because we did that one too, and it was pretty fun. But yeah, if you guys like this, tell us down below. Also, we are on Snapchat at Most Valuable Pod. We are on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod. He is on Twitter at Ricky Widmer. I am on Twitter at Schwarbo, and you can also find us on Facebook. But that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.